If you miss any of the poem, there will be recaps, quotes, clips, and Skin Poetry 1, available over the weekend, okay? You can go to the website for Skin Poetry 1, and you can go on all of your favorite social media platforms to go ahead and get the recaps, the quotes, the clips, and so on and so forth. Let's get into the tour. Yes. Now, guys, we're in the springtime, right? Springtime of the year. And while so many are looking to break up and get back on the summer freak train, because the summer freak train is a little bit different from the other seasons of freak trains, okay? It's very different. And why it's different? Because the summer freak train has more naked people than other seasons of freak trains. So many people will be looking to, let me get away from this situation and see what's out there in the summer. But that is why people do not break up in the cold weather, right? Because they're waiting for the summer to come to get on a freak train. Instead, in the cold weather, they have babies. Everybody gets pregnant in winter, okay? However, excuse me, other people who hate the freak train will use this weather to find love. It is a great time to find love. Spring and summer are the love seasons of the year, and that is why there are many more weddings during this time of the year. It's the season of love. Spring blooms all of the beautiful flowers, and then the summer makes the air nice and hot so you can go out there and enjoy a steamy romance, right? Well, sometimes love is found in the weirdest way. And Blueberry Smiles is about that instant attraction in a weird way between two strangers. And this is without much being said, just natural attraction. Seeing what you like and smiling, and she was ashamed because she was so attracted to him that it disturbed her from reminding herself that there's blueberries in my teeth, right? So she was a little embarrassed, but it did not hinder the attraction between the two, okay? So they both just liked what they were seeing. And smiles came, and then eventually numbers were traded. The female payee is the first, and while she was putting a beat down on that blueberry tree, let's call it a blueberry muffin because I'm a blueberry muffin girl. So, and I know the feeling of blueberry and teeth. That's why I carry my little pocket mirror. Just if somebody say hi, I'm a speaker. I always speak. And my mom always tell me when I speak, smile. So I always smile. So I carry my pocket mirror just in case if there's a little bit of blueberry or something in my teeth, I can check it out before I get embarrassed. Okay? But she was beating down that blueberry tree. She didn't even get it off the counter after paying for it. She just was biting into it. She was hungry, clearly. Someone was attracted to her just by watching her eat her blueberry trees. Attraction. It's natural. All right? See, it does not take a lot to get the attention of someone you are attracted to. It really does not. You just have to go for it. Shoot your shot. You know what I'm saying? Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. And give it all you got. All right? To reel them in. And so you can have something steamy and hot. Look at me poeting. Look at me poet. Anyway. Instead, people are finding more comfort today in meeting someone behind a social media platform. That's where we are. This is the time that we are in, all right? Which is still a great way to be social and meet new people, right? That's why it's called social media. It's a great way to meet new people. Like, I come on TikTok, I meet new people. Hi, thank you for joining. I come and I meet new people when I'm on social media. But I wrote this particular poem because I was thinking about what happened to the days of old when he gently would grab your hand and ask to converse with you for a minute. Remember that day? He wanted to talk to you, or she would just give you that little stare, right? But then he would come over and be like, let me put my male voice on. Like, hey, little mama. Or, how you doing, beautiful? Right? Or, wait. Hey, no, that was annoying. That wasn't us. I say, hey, nah. All right, he says, hey, sweetheart, can I talk to you? And he's smiling. What happened to that? All right? Are men too shy now? because I do not see a lot of men hitting on women in public places and spaces like they used to. And when I came up, if a man seen something that he was attracted to, he hit on her. All right, different women, all about. Now I'm a northern girl. And I'm from Brooklyn, so I grew up. We walked the pavement, so it's easier to meet people back then because you're walking past people, and it's easy for them to step out of whoever they're with, or step out of who they're, having conversing with or whatever, and say, "Excuse me, can I talk to you?" And if the lady was interested, she would talk to him. And even if she wasn't even if she was disinterested, she would still be respectful and saying, I like the song, "I got a man." And sometimes they'll be rude, like Special K, who made the song, say, "But your man ain't me." But that connection, you know what I'm saying? That face-to-face thing, hitting on a woman publicly like they used to. All right? Or are the women, have they made it too hard for men to approach them face-to-face? And that's why so many of them feel more comforted approaching a woman through a social media platform. All right? Is that what happened? Have we made it hard for men to approach women? Have women become so stinky in their response when a man approaches them, and it turns the man off? And now a lot of men just started to back away from that, going after the woman, holding her hand, saying, "Hey, beautiful, come here, girl. You look at them legs, girl. Without being fresh." But you compliment her. Your hair look good, girl. How much? I said, your hair looking like the bomb. Something that they will use, as a magnet to get her coming over, to reel her in. Is that gone? All right. So many people are afraid of rejection. Is that the reason? And too late, men are done. Oh, no, don't say that. The men are not done. The men are not done. The women are not done. You know what I'm saying? There's still so much love that can flourish, just by meeting people face to face. I'm sorry that you feel like that. Black men are the prize. Black men, well, hey, now they're kings now, hey. But all men, have great qualities that can certainly attract a woman still face to face. But are they afraid of rejection? And are we women the cause of them being afraid to be rejected? Or maybe it's the shallowness of the men that they're picking women by certain things. I think personally, I would want, to meet somebody face to face if I had to. Okay? I think many prefer to meet via DM so they do not have to look rejection in the face. Right? Bring nothing to the table but bills and her own problems. Well, that's not true. There's a lot of women that are independent and they do so much and they have the equal amount of things to bring to the table as the men. But we don't know that because we're not giving the chances. You know what I mean? They're not taking the chance. We're not giving the chance, or we're not taking the chance because women can flirt with men just as much as men can with women, respectfully. Or is this happening because it's easier to ghost someone on social media than it is to be an adult and say, "This ain't working out"? Social media, you could just block. You never have to hear from them again. You never have to see them again, right? No, you never ask a man opinion. No, you never ask a man's opinion. No, give your opinion. If you're a man, if you know a man, give an opinion, all right? But, it's not about being negative. It's about, finding those old-time ways to meet the one that you can possibly build something great with, right? And stepping out of social media and meeting face-to-face and conversing and getting to know somebody the old way. So, I wrote this poem to reflect on the traditional way that people got together. In my dating days, when I was meeting gentlemen, I met them face to face. All right, it gave me an opportunity to get to know you, by your body language and facial expressions, and sometimes the DMs and all of that don't convey an emotion. So standing face to face, you get to easily convey the emotion that is being discussed with you, that's coming out of the conversation with you, right? I prefer this way to meet someone because it gets rid of potential catfishers. All right, those DMs, they get a lot of people that catfish. They don't put real photos up of who they are. They'll steal somebody's photo that they think look beautiful or attractive, and then they'll reel you in with great conversation because they're not idiots. You know, they're adults, and this is a decision that they're making to meet someone, but they'll reel you in, right, with great conversation, but they look nothing like what you are really attracted to. Catfishes. So meeting someone personally, it gets rid of the catfishing, right? And as a woman, I think it also shows the masculine confidence of the man. The masculine confidence. Because it takes a confident man to approach a woman that he finds to be very attractive. And it takes a confident woman to approach a man that she finds attractive, right? Because it can work both ways. She can approach him. She might have to do it a little different and not be too aggressive, right? But she can approach a man as well. And he can approach a woman with that masculine aggression, all right? And she might fall right in. It's not too late. It shows the confidence and the masculinity of the man, which is the height of sexiness, and it's so appealing to me. And it's to me. So why do we waste time giving all of this conversation to a potential weirdo who may be a catfish? Not saying nothing is wrong with meeting someone on social media. You know, I know a lot of people that met people that they love and married from social media platforms, and it is going tremendously well. But it's not common. People go through a lot of catfishing and a lot of frogs before they meet the prince or the princess, right? So, listen to this. Hit on a pretty lady with blueberry in her teeth. It is okay. Her breath does not smell. It's just blueberries. And most men like blueberries, right? And ladies, let's give him a welcoming eye. You know, a stare. You ain't got to say too much. Just a little stare. All right? A welcoming eye, you know, as a way to give the signal like, I'm available and you're cute and come talk to me. So he doesn't shy away. All right? Your booty cannot always speak for itself. Smart men want to hear from what you're thinking. They want to hear from your brain. You cannot always be using your booty. Okay? So, try approaching someone. For if your booty does all the speaking for you, you are certainly putting yourself in a situation called hit and quit. Fellas, go for the shot. If she says no, she just was not the one. In the words of Jay, on to the next one. You know what I'm saying? But people, we should definitely try to get back to the natural way of shooting our shot by approaching someone, you know, let natural attraction play out. And stop going to social media to find him or her, because the reality is he or she may be right there in front of you. Right there in front of you. Pay attention and go and get them for 2025 and 2026 and 2027. Just go and get them and don't be scared. Nobody's going to reject you. And if they do reject you and they're mean, you don't want them anyway. I'm just saying. You know your value, all right? A confident man knows his value. A confident woman knows her value. Go and get them. Go and get them. Guys, listen. I ain't gonna monopolize too much more of your time. I have a quick question. You know, it's April, and at the end of these little talks, I always come with a little question. And this was my question for April. It was, what do you think about? All right? So I thought I would branch off from the talk and talk about, what do you think about men being afraid to hit on women? Are they afraid that the real choice of woman would be a joke to their friends? A lot of guys won't pick a lady because they may not be attractive for their friends to say she bad. Do you think she may be out of your league? A lot of men will not go for a woman because they might say she bougie, or, you know, they might be intimidated by her success. She may just be needing love, and she probably doesn't judge it by the size of your pocketbook or your pocket or your wallet. All right? Get over it, guys. If your friends are subliminally choosing your lady and you are seeking their approval for every date that you have, your friend might as well smash her too. He might as well hit it. He's the chooser of who you can mess with. And that should not be for a grown man. Okay? Because you are choosing according to what they like. It